What's up, guys? It is Brandon from the Two-Piece Man, and welcome back to another Premier League prediction week 26. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to check the freaking paper to make sure it was actually the same week. But yeah, week 26, and a lot has happened in this week, ladies and gentlemen. A lot has happened over the weekend. A lot of frustration from my part. Actually, no, not really from my part, because I'm actually gassed out. We actually got a draw. But a lot of frustration from the Arsenal fans as well. And a shocking result against Tottenham from City. And we know how the City fans are feeling. And as we all know, another win from Liverpool, who are basically going to win the league. The question is, can they do it unbeaten? And before I even go into this prediction, right? Okay, right? We have created a Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. We have created a Patreon. And this Patreon is basically me going in depth with the teams. So, for example, I pick a different team every week and I talk about their form. I talk about how they're playing. I talk about the statistics side of things. I talk about the manager. I specifically talk about that one team, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys want to join my Patreon, links will be in the description. And also, can we smash at least 30 likes on this video, right, ladies and gentlemen? 30 likes on this video. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button as well. Don't forget to smash it, because as every single one of you know who watches our videos, right? Our aim is to gain 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. So I would appreciate it if you smashed that subscribe button. But anyway, we're going to go straight into the games. We're going to go straight into them. So, first game at 12:30 on a Saturday. Yeah. Surprisingly, there's like two games on a Saturday, but yeah. Everton versus Crystal Palace. Now, we're going to talk about Everton in the last game against Watford. And fair play to Everton, beating them 3-2. Walcott scoring, I think it was the winner, or scoring one of the goals against Watford. Fair play to them. Everton getting that win against a very, very tough Watford side, and it's actually at Vicarage Road. So when you actually think about it, it's actually harder, because some teams have struggled to get points at Vicarage Road, looking at Manchester United, teams like that. And it's a very, very good win for them. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's a very, very good win for them, if I'm completely honest with you. And it'll surely increase their standings in the table. I don't know if Everton fans, if they want to get into Europa League. Carlo Ancelotti's, you can see how he's changed the system. You can see how he's implementing his football, what he's implementing, and you can see the results. It was simply 3-2, so it was a 3 points for Everton. And they're going to versus Crystal Palace. And now with Crystal Palace, a very, very bad mistake from their goalkeeper, letting that goal in. It was just bad handling, if I'm honest with you, which is really, really poor. And that really did cost Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. And fair play, it was a good win for Sheffield United. But for Crystal Palace to concede a goal just like that is actually disappointing. And if I'm honest with you, I do expect better. And it just simply wasn't good enough, if I'm completely honest with you, to let that goal in. And they didn't really offer a lot either. It is a very, very tough team, that's Sheffield United. And Crystal Palace just should have done better. So I don't know how they're going to fare against Everton, if I'm honest with you. But for this game, and it's at Goodison Park, by the way, I just see Crystal Palace win. So I'm going to say Everton 0, Crystal Palace 1. I see Crystal Palace just nicking a goal in the end. I don't know what feeling I have, but I just see them nicking a goal in the end. Maybe a header from Gary Cahill, some magic from Wilfred Zaha or Jordan Ayew, or a penalty from Milivojevic. It's just one of those things, really, if I'm honest with you. And I just see Crystal Palace winning it. I don't know how Everton will set up for that game. Maybe they'll set up in a different way. I have no clue. But for me, it's just going to be a Crystal Palace win. And that game is at 12:30 on a Saturday. The second game on a Saturday, because there's only two games on a Saturday for this one, Brighton versus Watford. Now, we're going to look at Brighton's form. Now, Brighton's last game, they actually drew 3-3 against West Ham, David Moyes' side. And you can tell there's a lot of goals in the game, because obviously it finished 3-3. But maybe Brighton could have won at the end. Maybe they could have nicked it. I don't know. It's it's just weird how they played. Obviously, it was a West Ham team that's been struggling for points. We're like right down at the bottom of the table, struggling for points with David Moyes' side. But I feel as though Brighton actually could have won that game. I think that's a game that they actually should have won, if I'm honest with you, because with the way these teams play now, Brighton's form is just way better than West Ham's, and it was just very, very unfortunate for them not to win that game. And looking at Watford, obviously now Watford losing that game, like I said earlier on, against Everton, which was just, if I'm honest with you, losing 3-2 is just... when you let Theo Walcott score, then you know your defence is bad. Just put it that way. When you let Theo Walcott score, you know that your defence is bad. And I can't really fault Watford that much, because in their last few games they have been performing well, but it just this game they just didn't perform their best, and it was just really, really unfortunate. And the fact that it was at Vicarage Road was just really, really sad. So do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It's a hard pill for Watford fans and Watford themselves to actually swallow. So we'll see how they go into the next game against Brighton. It is at Brighton's ground. Unfortunately, I don't see Watford getting the win. So for this one, I'm going to have to say Brighton 1. Actually, no, scratch that. Scratch that. I actually do see Watford getting the win. So for this one, I'm going to say Brighton 1, Watford 2. I do see Watford coming off the back of that performance, going into that game, high intensity, high press onto Brighton. I don't think Brighton will be able to handle it. They do have the likes of Moy, Nomupe and Connolly, but I think that with the likes of Watford's team, Deulofeu, Troy Deeney, Sarr, Doucouré, I feel as though those players will have a massive, massive impact on the game, and how Watford can counter-attack Brighton with the pace of Deulofeu and Sarr. So, like I said, for this one, Brighton 1, Watford 2. Moving on to the next game. This is actually on a Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. So, Sheffield United versus Bournemouth. Now, Sheffield United, like I said earlier, beating Crystal Palace 1-0 at Selhurst Park, which is a good result for them. Chris Wilder has made his team very, very hard to beat. They're not an easy team to beat. They've been getting goals late on in the game. They've been making it very, very hard for the opposition. And it seems as though only quality teams can really beat Sheffield United, can really grind out games against Sheffield United. It seems that only quality teams can actually, destroy them or even get 3 points against them. Because the way they set up is actually really, really good. That's what I've actually noticed from Sheffield United's form. When you actually look at their form, it's not too bad, because it's just, number one, the way they set up. Number two, the overlapping centre-backs I have. And number three, I think it's the 12th man, which is obviously the fans. The way the fans just support the team, the way the players move, the whole atmosphere and everything. And it just transcends onto the pitch. And it just shows how the players are playing, how the players react, how the fans react as well. Now, they're against Bournemouth, who actually came off a back of a win, which actually shocked me, because I didn't expect Bournemouth to win crap with the way they're freaking playing. I think, was it 1 win in the last 9 games or something like that? And the fact that they beat Aston Villa, this is it all. Obviously now Villa's form is just poor, and it's Villa. But still, for Bournemouth to actually get that win, you have to actually give it to them. And because the way Eddie Howe's just had such a horrible start. Let's be honest, his team have been absolutely rubbish for the majority of the season, for the whole campaign of the season. They just haven't been amazing. And for them to get a win against Aston Villa, it just really says a lot. But even though Aston Villa are in a freaking crisis as well, but fair play to Bournemouth and how they played. They're going to come up against a Sheffield United side at Bramall Lane, and I just don't think Bournemouth will be able to handle Sheffield United, if I'm honest with you. I think Sheffield United have more quality, more spirit, more heart, more passion, more desire, and it's going to be very, very hard on how Eddie Howe's actually going to set up. It's going to be very, very difficult for him. So for this one, I'm going to have to say Sheffield United 3, Bournemouth 0. I think there will be a lot of goals from Sheffield United. I think they are going to play the football that they want to play. I feel as though they're going to play very intense football, going to pressure pressure Bournemouth straight from the start, high intensity, and I just don't think Bournemouth will be able to handle it, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, I don't think they'll get a foot on in the game. So yeah, I don't think they'll get a grip on it. Moving on to the next game, Manchester City versus West Ham. Before I even talk about Manchester City and their performance against Tottenham Hotspur, we're going to talk about West Ham. Now, like I already said, West Ham drawing against Brighton. Fairly good result. realistically, they actually needed the win with the way they're playing and how they're playing. The way David Moyes is setting up his side, it's not crap, but it's not amazing, is it? So I think with David Moyes, he just needs to make a few tweaks in the squad for them to actually get some wins. And some players just aren't putting their boots up, if I'm honest with you. I know with Brighton they're like a mid-table team, but still, I think West Ham should be beating Brighton, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, with the form they're on, and you look at how, where they are in the table, you feel as though, okay, West Ham are lucky to actually get a point off Brighton. But if I'm honest with you, right, it's Brighton, so it's not really a massive club, is it? And I feel as though West Ham could have actually got the 3 points against them. So you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things, isn't it? And we're gonna talk about Manchester City now. I watched that game, dominated the first half, thought they were actually going to score a goal, had multiple chances, crosses coming in from Kevin De Bruyne. It was just very, very unfortunate for them not to actually get a goal and, even have some hope of catching Liverpool. Like, come on, they could have reduced it down to bloody 19 points if they had actually won that game. But Liverpool are now 22 points ahead. And for Manchester City now, it's just... they're just not winning the title. Let's just be honest. They're more likely to win the Carabao Cup than they are to win the title. That's all I'm saying. And Champions League, Jesus, this team misses Laporte. This team needs Laporte. Sorry, Fernandinho at centre back. It just doesn't work. He's just preferred as a central defensive midfielder. He just doesn't work as a centre back, if I'm completely honest with you, right? And obviously, I understand how they got a man sent off. Shevchenko was sent off in the game, and that's basically where they lost it, because that's where Tottenham got all their chances, how they were able to get on the front foot more. And before that, though, Manchester City were absolutely dominating. I mean, they had that chance with Ilkay Gundogan, and he just couldn't slip the ball in the back of the net. And it was just very, very unfortunate for them. They had to take off Aguero to bring on another right back to fill in the place for Shevchenko. It was just a disaster for Pep Guardiola. And yeah, the team have to move forward onto West Ham. And for me, I think it's just going to be an easy win. But it was just a poor display from Manchester City in like the end of the second half. Because majority of the first half they dominated. They were just very, very unlucky to actually, score a goal. I think next time they really do need to take their chances. And I feel as though Manchester City will beat West Ham. They just have more quality than West Ham. I don't actually see West Ham getting anything from this, and it is at the Etihad, so let's be honest, it's a guaranteed win. All right, so for this one, I'm going to say Manchester City 2, West Ham 0. I don't see Man City scoring a lot of goals, but I do see them getting the win. So yeah. Moving on to the next game, Wolves versus Leicester City, which is going to be a very, very, very interesting game. Wolves getting a point at Old Trafford against Manchester United, which is fairly good. However, if they did get that game, they would be 3 points behind Chelsea. And I had to pray with all my heart and soul that they would actually draw. And thank God that they did, because let's be honest, we haven't been playing the best. But we're going to talk about Wolves first, then Leicester. I feel as though with Wolves against this Manchester United team, it's not the best Manchester United team you'll ever see. I feel as though they actually could have got a result. I think Dama Traore could have been used more in that game, if I'm completely honest with you. The fact that Man United got a 0-0 draw against Wolves is actually quite good, because Wolves tend to get points against big teams in the Premier League, especially away. I mean, you look at Manchester City and the points that they got off them, and it just shows you. And Wolves are a very, very dangerous team. Let's not forget that Wolves will punish you if you mess up. So it's just as simple as that. Talking about Leicester City now against us. We did have them on the front foot in the first half, but then after that we obviously slipped. And then Leicester City obviously came into their own. Like I said, a good goal from Harvey Barnes. And then the second goal, obviously poor defense from us, but fair play to him. Chilwell scoring with his weaker foot. And I feel as though with Leicester City, for the way they conceded that goal, thank God they conceded it to make it 2-2. I think it was just awful defending. It was a good jump from Rudiger, but I felt as though Leicester City could have defended that goal better. It was just very, very unfortunate for them. They've been off form slightly, haven't been to their best, because before they were winning loads and loads of games. Now they've just slipped off a bit, and yeah, Jamie Vardy is on a bit of a drought. So yeah, but I still don't really see anyone catching him up, if I'm completely honest with you. So yeah, he is the top goal scorer in the Prem. So it's just as simple as that. For this one, I feel as though it's going to be a very, very entertaining game. Obviously, the likes of Adama Traore, Raul Jimenez, Diogo Jota, Nicto. I felt as though Wolves will bring a lot of pace, energy, and fire against Leicester City. Leicester City can't take this team lightly, because this team is very, very good. Shevchenko, Soyuncu, and Johnny Evans will have a handful to deal with, and I think Ben Chilwell will be crapping himself when he is against Adama Traore. And this game is at the Monolith Stadium as well. Let's take that in mind. So all the fans are basically going to be cheering Wolves on to the very blood clot end. So for this one, I'm going to say Wolves 3, Leicester City 3. I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining game. I think it's going to be packed full with goals, a lot of fouls in the game, and yeah, I think it's just going to be a draw, from honest with you, so 3-3. Moving on to the next game, Southampton versus Burnley. Now, very, very unlucky for Southampton, because obviously they were never going to beat Liverpool. Let's be honest. I think the whole world knew that they were never going to beat Liverpool. All right, but Southampton have been decent this season. They have turned it around. Before, we saw them losing 9-0, and now they're starting to beat teams 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. And yeah, I think Southampton, if I'm honest with you, they have turned stuff around. I don't know where they are in the table, but I know they've turned things around. They're not in the bottom 3, and it was just very, very unfortunate for them, because they've basically come up against a Liverpool team that's absolutely on form, that's been having a positive mental attitude for like the whole season, has been banging in goals, and Klopp, you can just tell that Klopp is loving it. All the fans are loving it, and Liverpool have just been absolutely outstanding this season, and no one can even deny that. Not even you bloody Manchester United fans. You fans know that Liverpool have been kicking arse, and you will just never admit it. But that's just a fact, right? Those are just facts. So I'm not going to say too much for Southampton. For Burnley, I felt as though they actually could have won that game. I think, was it Jay Rodriguez? Jay Rodriguez's shot in that inside of the post and not going in. Burnley did have a decent amount of the ball in the second half. I felt as though Arsenal did back off a lot. Burnley, really, it was pretty much a dead game. But I felt as though Burnley had opportunities, set pieces, where they could have actually won and nicked the game. Obviously, their set pieces were a long ball FC, but it just didn't work, if I'm honest with you. So yeah. For this one, I felt as though it was going to be a draw. Again, so it's going to be Southampton 1, Burnley 1, if I'm honest with you. Moving on to the next game, Norwich versus Liverpool. Ladies and gentlemen, Norwich versus Liverpool. So, as we all know, Norwich drew against Newcastle. To be fair, it was a good point for them, because let's be honest with you, they've been on a ball on form. I honestly saw Newcastle just battering them, if I'm honest with you. Going to St James's Park isn't easy. It is not easy to get a freaking win against them. Trust me, I know, because we bloody lost there 1-0. So it was a fair play for Norwich, for them to actually get the point there. As for Liverpool, well, let's be honest, we already freaking know how well they're playing. Let's just be real, okay? Liverpool have the possibility to go the whole season unbeaten, all right? For all you Arsenal fans, right, you should be worried. You should be absolutely terrified, because this team may beat the Invincibles record, right? They may be the new Invincibles, all right? They may be the new Invincibles, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Liverpool have been kicking arse. They've been smacking teams 4-0, 3-0, 2-1, 2-0, everything. They've been smacking teams up, all right? This is by far, we've known Liverpool in the 1970s to dominate Europe, to dominate European football. They were brilliant in the 80s as well, magnificent in the 90s. But I personally, in my opinion, right, and I've seen some great Liverpool sides, right? I've seen some great Liverpool sides. I've researched some great Liverpool sides, right? I think this is one of the top 5 best Liverpool teams ever, all right? If they go the whole season unbeaten, right, this is by far the best Liverpool team ever, all right? I don't think anyone could bloody disagree with what I'm saying, all right? Because if this team goes the whole season, right, draws one game, right, wins all the other games, right, Best team in the freaking... Best Liverpool team ever, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah. I think for this game, obviously, Liverpool are on form. They're going to smash some goals in. We all know that. It's going to be at Carrow Road. Norwich they just won't get a result. They're just not getting a result. Let's just be brutally honest. They're just not going to win it. So for this one, I'm going to say Norwich 0, Liverpool 5. I think Liverpool will just batter them 5-0 if I'm completely honest with you. Moving on to the next game, Aston Villa versus Tottenham Hotspur. Aston Villa's new man, what was his name, Zamato or whatever, scoring a header, scoring his first goal for Aston Villa. But unfortunately, they lost, and it just goes to show, isn't it? And the worst thing is that they're in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley against Manchester City, the team that came to Villa Park and thrashed them 6-1. So it's just peak, right? It's just peak. Let's just be honest with them. But before I even get onto how they'll set up against Man City and all that stuff, right? Let's look at their opponent, Tottenham Hotspur. They did score a goal at Spurs' other ground before. I think it was at Wembley or something like that. No, it was actually at their ground. I actually forgot their ground's called. I still call it White Hart Lane. Sorry, I'm a Chelsea fan. I call it Shite Hart Lane. Yeah. Villa did hold them off for a period of time until Tottenham did score. And then obviously Tottenham came into the game and actually won the game. For Villa right now, they're in a bloody crisis. I don't really see anything happening for them, if I'm honest with you. I feel as though they're in that absolute crapper. As for Tottenham, fair play to Tottenham for getting that 2-0 win against Man City. Their new player, Bergwijn, scoring the goal for them. Their new signing that they made in the January transfer window. And obviously their other player, that is Heung-min Son, scoring for them as well. It was world-class performance from Tottenham. I hate them, but let's be honest, right? The performance was decent, all right? The performance was good, and they got the win against a very, very tough and in-form Manchester City. But I don't see Villa getting crap. So, yeah, I'm going to say Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 3. Moving on to the next game, Arsenal versus Newcastle United. Now, before I even go on to Arsenal, we'll go on to Newcastle. I feel as though Newcastle should have actually won that game against Norwich. I feel as though Newcastle are against a Norwich team that haven't been amazing this season. They have relied so much on Pukki, who has begun the service. I felt as though Newcastle should have won that game. To be fair, they have to rely on the likes of Almiron and St. Maximin to actually score goals, if I'm honest with you, because and Shelby, to be honest with you, because Joe Linton, I don't know how many goals this guy scored. I think he's scored 1 or some crap like that. I don't really see him get anywhere, if I'm completely honest with you. Yeah, so it was just really, really unfortunate for Newcastle. Now we're going to talk about Arsenal, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the Gunners, all right, and their performance against Burnley. All right, absolutely shocking. Simply wasn't good enough. Fair enough, they kept a clean sheet, right? Something we rarely ever see, all right? And Mustafi was playing as well. If I'm honest with you, Mustafi was actually the best defender there. He's actually starting to improve. He actually made that defence solid as well. So he actually defended really well. So that's a positive. I don't know if he was man of the match. I think he should have been given man of the match. But Lacazette, his confidence is it's been shot. Lacazette's confidence has been shot, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you saw the chance that he had. He's not holding up the ball very well. His confidence just isn't there. And usually he plays really, really well. He links the play up very well. And his confidence has just been shot, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not the Lacazette we know. And I don't know, will Arsenal keep him? If he keeps playing like this, will Arsenal keep him? Will Arsenal sell him? I don't know. But Lacazette just hasn't been playing well recently. And Aubameyang, rusty. But the chance that he had, he scuffed that so much, and it was actually embarrassing. As soon as David Luiz's perfect ball over the top landed onto Aubameyang, brilliant first touch for him, by the way. I thought the nets would rip. I honestly thought the back of the net would just rip, if I'm honest with you, right? And the fact that he didn't score that and he dragged that so wide, I was just so shocked. I don't know why he took it with his right foot. I thought he would actually take it with his left, and it would just be 1-0 to Arsenal, because with the runs that he makes, like, it's just amazing, and he keeps himself onside as well. And you understand why he's Arsenal's top goal scorer. But the fact that he didn't score that, it was just really, really shocking. So it's just simple as that, man. I don't really know about Arsenal, man. Like, they've just been drawing just too many games, man. And the only way to get into Champions League is just Europa League. But I understand how Arteta's done. They're not losing a lot of games, but at the same time, they actually have to win games. I mean, like, that's their 13th draw this season. And it's just really, really big for Arsenal, if I'm honest with you. And it's, you know what? Leave your comments down below. How do you feel as an Arsenal fan? Leave your thoughts down below. What should Mikel Arteta do or change to get Arsenal winning games again? Right? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And even if you're not an Arsenal fan, leave your thoughts in the comments down below about your team as well. What they can do to actually win the games, how they can improve as well. All right? I want to know what you have to say. So for this game, I'm going to say Arsenal 1, Newcastle 1. I don't really see Arsenal getting the win. It's at the Emirates, and I don't see them losing. They've just been drawing too many games, and that's probably what's going to happen against Newcastle. So yeah, it's a team that's drawn 4 of their last 5 games, and it's just Arsenal, isn't it? So yeah, it's just simple as that. Moving on to the final game, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea versus Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. Frank Lampard versus Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, ladies and gentlemen. Am I crapping myself for this? Yes, because if Manchester United win, then they will basically be, what is it, I think 3 points behind us or something like that, or 1 point behind us. I don't know. Actually, no, 3 points behind us. And it's very, very tough because Tottenham are now 3 points behind us. So, top 4 is basically closing. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason why we're in 4th place right now is because all the other teams have been screwing up against us. All right? That's basically it. That's the only reason. We haven't been playing well. We've been shocking, right? And I'll admit that, right? We have been absolutely shocking. We were absolutely lucky to even get a point against Leicester City, right? I thought we were going to lose. I thought we would lose that, all right? I honestly thought we would just get crapped on, all right? I even watched my other prediction. I said that we would lose against Leicester City 2-1, and the fact that we drew that was a bloody miracle. All right, we should have killed the game off. We had so much possession in the first half as well, like the first, I think, 17 or 25 minutes, and we should have taken our chances. And that's been the problem with Chelsea. We're not bloody clinical, and it really, really frustrates me. We were supposed to get Edison Cavani on loan, and nothing happened. I mean, like, what's the point? You get that transfer ban lifted, right? We were asking for that transfer ban to be reduced, to be lifted. We get it. There's an opportunity in January to sign players that we want, and we didn't sign anyone, all right? Frank Lampard actually wanted signings, but I didn't know what the scouts were doing. I didn't know what the negotiations were doing. I didn't have a clue, but we should have signed some players. And to be fair, we should have signed a centre-back, and we should have signed a striker as well, because Tammy Abraham, if I'm honest with you, he's more likely to get injured again, and he hasn't been scoring either. And you can tell that Frank Lampard doesn't rate Batshuayi because he put Willian at centre-forward rather than Batshuayi. So that says a lot. That shows you what Frank Lampard thinks about Michy Batshuayi, and this is why I believe it. He basically thinks that he's dog wank, and he is. Simple as that, right? We saw him against Arsenal. He should have scored, and he didn't score. He's had lots of chances, and he just simply hasn't been put in the back of the net. So it goes to show you what Frank Lampard thinks of Michy Batshuayi. And with Manchester United, with their new signing, Bruno Fernández, I reckon he'll probably score against us. I reckon he'll score against us, and it's just as simple as that. I gotta hear Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0, but when I actually think about it, I just don't see it happening. So, do you know what I mean? And I'm not really confident for us getting this win, because we went to Old Trafford last time, we lost 4-0. They came to the Bridge in the Carabao Cup, we lost, what was it, I think 2-1 or something like that. So yeah, for this one, I'm going to say Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1. I'm going for a draw for this one. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, right? I'm a Chelsea fan. I should probably be more positive and more optimistic, but I just don't see us getting this win, and it's just painful for me to say it, right? You gotta be real when you support your club, all right? None of this, oh, we'll win 2-1, we'll win 2-0 against one of the biggest teams, all right? Manchester United are one of the biggest teams, but they can do some damage to us, and our defense is shaky, all right? So that's all I'm saying. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button, click the subscribe button as well. Don't forget to check out our new Patreon video. I'll be posting videos on that soon. More analytical things on there, more statistical things, just based off one club a week. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'll see you guys in a bit. And peace!